going to paint hot air balloons. This is so simple, but can you imagine a whole bunch of them on a page, how beautiful that would look? And maybe doing a sky in the background and a city beneath. But we got to start with the balloons, right? So today you will need a pencil, maybe an eraser. It's always handy to have one around, huh? Your watercolor set, an old rag or paper towels, a paintbrush, pointy one's fine, and some kind of container of water. All right, should we start? I think we should. Let's move these guys over. All right, so let's get your pencil. And we're gonna start, let's save room. Let's do maybe one here, and one here. So the first thing is we want the circle of the balloon, but it's not a full circle, is it? So let's start here, and we're gonna go up and down, and we're not gonna complete that circle. Is it dark enough for you to see? I'm gonna make it darker, but you know to draw lightly, right? So that you can erase if you need to, but maybe you won't need to today. So on the bottom, we're gonna kind of do something like this. Obviously that's the bottom of the balloon, right? Now, we have another shape we're all used to, and that would be a square or a very small rectangle. We need strings, so let's do the strings first. String, ropes really, right? And maybe there's more here. And there's probably more in the background that you can't see that well. Now our next shape is the basket that everyone rides in. So let's make that here. Now it's much smaller than the balloon, so don't make it too big. And probably it's kind of longer than it is tall. How easy is that? Simple, right? Now what if the balloon has multicolors in it? Let's do that one. So let's have a starting point here, and let's come down. Let's have another one here. Now we have the option of making each one of those a really pretty different color. All right, let's draw a couple more before we start painting. Okay, let's go over here. This one's really close to it. And here we go. Okay. Here we go with that little line. We're certainly going to need ropes. I like to do a couple of light ones back here. Okay, you know what's next, so go ahead without me. A little fat rectangle. Okay, maybe this is a polka dot one. So maybe I'm gonna put big polka dots on it. I like that. Okay, let's do one more before we start painting. Put it over here, I guess. You know what? If we make it smaller, it'll look like it's farther away, right? So let's make it smaller. Okay. Our little closure there. That's where the heat from the fire goes up there and keeps the balloon up, right? I've never been in one. I wonder if any of you have. We need a little basket. And of course it's got to be smaller because it's farther away. Well, I'm liking all of those. I think those came out really good. And when I'm done with all of these, I might go back in and paint a beautiful sky with clouds in the back. That would make a really pretty picture. But let's paint these in for now. So I'm going to get my brush wet. Here's my brush. And I'm going to find the colors that I want. I'm going to start with the little guy back here. I think he's red. Yeah. Easy enough, huh? Let's move over to the one in the middle. I'm gonna make it kind of a turquoise. I like that. That's pretty. And then for the middle, I'm thinking a yellow. I like that too. Well, what should I put on the other side? How about a bright green? Oh, I know, purple. Purple. Staying in the lines, right? Because it's just like a coloring. Oh, look what I said, and then I went right out of the lines. Well, no one's perfect. All right, let's do that other one. I think it's a white balloon with red dots. And how I'm gonna paint it white? I'm not gonna paint it white. It's the white of the paper. It's gonna show through. So I'm just gonna paint the dots. I like to outline them first and then paint in the middle. That way I can be really careful not to do what I did there. Everybody makes mistakes, right? No big deal. We have more paper, more paint, and lots of time. Okay, I'm liking that. So now it looks like a white balloon, right? Those baskets are usually brown, I think. I've never really been around too many of them, but I'm thinking brown. So I'm gonna get a little bit of brown, and I'm going to paint my baskets. Easy enough. And here goes another one. Now, something you can do now, oh, I got some paint over there, huh? Is if you want to get maybe a bigger brush than this, a fatter brush, like, let's see if I can find one. Maybe like this, or even bigger. If you want to start doing some background, like some clouds and things, that would be nice, or just a sky. Then you'd have to be really careful, wouldn't you? You'd have to get right up here, very carefully, and then pull that color out before it dries. Otherwise it leaves a dark line in here. And we have to be careful of our other balloon. More water, more paint. Up here. And of course, it gets darker as you put more and more paint on your brush. So you could do this all the way around and get yourself a nice sky. Now, how could you make clouds? Well, the white of the paper will be the cloud, so you just have to go around it. So let's say I have a cloud starting here. I would go like this. And then I would paint anything that is not the cloud. So this isn't the cloud, that's the sky. Over here. Maybe a little darker in there, and being very careful by my balloon. Now you might think, well, why didn't she paint the sky first? Well, in watercolors, I wouldn't have been able to go over it with my balloon colors. Watercolors, you have to be very careful. If you're using acrylic paints, you can go over them. Like paint the whole sky and then paint balloons over the sky. But in watercolors, you cannot do that. So you have to be very careful and do your backgrounds. Oops, lost some of my cloud there, but that's okay. Here's kind of a little bit darker cloud back there. Yep. I like it. Now, of course, I can carry this all the way down by making the paint more watery. Not too much paint on it, bring it down. And look, you can do it blue here too, lightly, because you can see through the strings. right? And around here. It's tricky, but it takes patience and a slow pace. That means you take your time. There's lots of other ways you could do it, like leave a space for your balloons and then paint around the area. All different kinds of techniques for watercolor. Let's go over here. Ooh, gotta be careful over here. Careful, careful. Need a little more blue, huh? When this is dry, we can draw the strings in even darker if we like. But if you put a pen on watercolor while it's wet, it's just going to ruin your pen, and it's really not going to disperse any of the ink. So you do need to wait till it's dry. All right, and I'm going to try to do that and be patient, and I'm so anxious to show you. Okay, and then maybe, let's just go one more. You don't have to do all this, but maybe there's some mountains down here. So I could just go like this. Now it really looks like it's flying over the city, right? I need more brown. There we go. But this one's almost down, isn't it? Or it just looks like it is because the mountains are way back there. Okay, see, I'm liking that. And then maybe there's fields of flowers and such. So I'm gonna get some green, some yellow, and I'm just gonna bounce it in here. Just bounce, 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 bounce. And then, I'll get a little more. Go over here too. Let's add some flowers. Now with the flowers, I can go back to my little brush if I want to. Get some red and just dot it in. Little things of flowers here and there. Maybe clean my brush. Go get a yellowy green. That's pretty. And maybe there's some purple flowers too. It's a light purple. Okay guys, see what you can do. Do lots of balloons in different colors. Hey, maybe even put little people in them. You wouldn't be able to see much of the people though, right? So if you did it, you wouldn't do the whole body. You'd probably do it from the waist up and then waving down to their friends. So give that a try. This is Patty Curtis, Art from the Gazebo. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks so much for coming today. Look for another lesson soon. Bye-bye, guys.